This is my what? Oh God. I got no kids again. I've been freezing cold all day. Like, it's so cold in here. I know. I'm just coming back here and sitting in the cozy chair. Why not? No more. Hi, guys. I'm here all by myself today, which is why I'm not wearing a mask. We'll give Victoria and AJ a couple minutes, see if they show up. David, Trinity, Marilyn. Okay. Some random kid just came, like a kid I don't know, just came in and used my trash can. Didn't even like acknowledge me. So strange. Nice. I don't blame you. That's what siblings are there for. It's so cold in here today, guys. That's why I'm all wrapped up. I'm so grateful for this blanket today. Okay, I'm gonna mark them absent, and if they show up, fantastic. Oh, okay. Excuse me. The first thing we're doing is a new vocab unit that's based on parts 3 and 4 of In Cold Blood. Let me go ahead and publish that. No, unpublish that. This is on Canvas, but I'll also share my screen in just a second. I'll go through the words with you in just a second. This is listed as an assignment, but just like last time, I put it as an assignment so that you could each have a copy and do the fill in the blanks on your own. You don't have to submit it. It'll just be for your benefit and to study with. I am unlikely to change the sentences between this and the quiz on Friday. So, you know, once we go over it, make sure that you've got those right answers and that you're studying those. We'll talk about part 2 tomorrow. I'm going to see if you have like very much to do this week. Just kind of looking, I mean, it's a pretty normal week to be honest, but keep in mind you do have your student anxiety essay due. You can turn it in as late as next Tuesday. Isn't that what I said? No, I said Friday. Good. That's smarter. Let's do Friday. I'm giving some other classes like until next Tuesday to turn in things, and they're very confused about it. So just this is due Friday. Okay, let me share my screen with you folks and move this thing out of my way. Okay. I'll just go through these words with you and then give you a few minutes on your own um, to do the fill in the blank. The first word you've probably heard before, probably like in reference to a cranky old man or something, but cantankerous, which means bad tempered, argumentative, and uncooperative. Number two is repose, and that's a noun. It kind of sounds like it might be a verb because it has pose in there, but it's not. And actually. Repose is a state of rest, sleep, or tranquility. So it's the state. Number three is sartorial, which means relating to clothes, just something to do with clothes. Number four, a fun word to say, vicissitudes. It's always plural. I've never heard anyone say a vicissitude. Maybe it can be. I'd have to look into that. You never hear it as a singular noun. It's always multiple. And it means changes occurring during the natural course of something. Like, for instance, since we just said sartorial, I was thinking about it. Like fashion goes through natural vicissitudes. Some things will be trendy one year and really fallen out of trend the next. And those are vicissitudes. Number five is prevaricate, which means to speak or act in an evasive way, to lie or deceive or like try to get out of something. Number six is innocuous, which means not harmful or offensive. I don't even remember doing, hang on. Nope, okay. I just didn't remember writing a sentence for one of these, and turns out I did. I just did it so quickly I forgot. Number seven is temporal, which means relating to worldly affairs rather than spiritual ones, secular or of the world. Number eight is another fun one to say, anathema, which is something or someone that one vehemently dislikes, something that you absolutely hate. Number nine, I remember people last year taking issue with this word because it's so close to opinion, but it's not. To pinion means to disable or restrain something through binding. And number 10, you've probably heard this word in the news over the last several years, collusion, secret or illegal cooperation or conspiracy, especially in order to cheat or deceive others. I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes to go through these sentences, and then we'll go over them together. I'm going to mute myself in the meantime and also stop sharing. All right, if everybody's ready, let's go ahead and go over this. If you feel like you know the answer, you can either say it out loud or put it in the chat. Number 1, Joan of Arc was blanked to a stake and burned alive. What do we think? It's pretty much gotta be a verb because it ends in ed. So you've only got a couple of options there. No ideas? Pinion, yes. In the chat, I've got pinion, and also that it's not authorizing the doc. Let me try to share it with you, and you can make yourself a copy. Or what I'll do, actually, this might be a little bit easier. I'm just going to copy the link and send it to you. So if you need to make your own copy, you can. Okay, I just pulled up the wrong thing. Number 2, the siblings would often blank when questioned by their parents about where they had been in order to avoid getting in trouble. They would often do this. Prevaricate. Perfect. Very good. Number 3, the private school students hate wearing uniforms and consider the dress code and blank that they have to endure. There's a clue too. And it's not a. Yep, I got in the chat, prevaricate. Good. Okay, number 4. I wish I had been lying in blank on my bed instead of listening to a boring lecture. That one might be a little bit weird if you've never heard this word before, to lie in blank. But from the definition, if you're lying, like lying down, one of these is going to make sense. Repose. Yes, good. Number 5, the teacher was very blank when the sub didn't show up. Would definitely make me blank. Actually, I did have a sub not show up one time year before last, and my class didn't tell anyone until the class was over. Actually, it was my AP class that year. They didn't tell anyone until like 5 minutes before the end of class, and they went across the hall and told Mr. Benvenuti, and he was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do about it now. But they did their work, and I appreciated that. The teacher was very blank when the sub didn't show up. Come on, guys. Cantankerous. Yes, perfect. Number 6, many people believe there was some blank with Russia in the 2016 election, which would have made the results fraudulent. I'm sure you guys heard about this on the news. Yes, collusion. Good. Number 7, Puritans believed we should shun blank pleasures and strive for spiritual perfection. What kind of pleasures? If they believe, yes, good, temporal. We should shun temporal pleasures, pleasures of the world, material stuff, and strive for spiritual perfection. Number 8, some people will just wear anything, she said, looking down her nose at the girl's blank choices. There's a pretty good clue in that one. Sartorial, yes. When they said some people will wear anything, we're talking about clothes. All right, number 9, it's fair, and take this as encouragement for you guys. It's fairly common to see students' grades undergo some blank in AP language. I've seen students start out with A's, drop below failing, and then pull their grades back up to an A before the quarter ends. Yes, vicissitudes. Undergo some vicissitudes. And lastly, some serial killers are hard to catch because they are seemingly blank people with normal jobs and families. You're only one left. Innocuous. Very good. Okay, so make sure that you have those answers written down. Study those. We will have the quiz on Friday, so hopefully, I'm not sure everybody was super invested in this, so make sure that you study. The next thing we're going to do, let me go ahead and publish it, is do a little bit of multiple choice work, which we know is sometimes like pulling teeth, but we've got to do it and we've got to practice. And the more we practice, the easier it'll be come exam time. For right now, I'm going to share my screen with you. And this is another case, just like the last one, where I made it an assignment so that everybody could have their own choice, their own copy of this. But I do want you to submit your work when you get done here. I'm going to open it another thing. And again, if it doesn't work for anybody, like if it won't authorize, y'all let me know and I'll share it with you. I'll read through this with you and then I'll talk about some of the questions. So this is from 1995, so it should be a little bit easier to digest than some of the stuff that we have looked at lately. And there's only 8 questions, so that's good. From a book called The End of Education. But it is important to keep in mind that the engineering of learning is very often puffed up, assigned an importance it does not deserve. As an old saying goes, there are 1 in 20 ways to sing tribal lays, and all of them are correct. So it is with learning. There is no one who can say that this or that is the best way to know things, to feel things, to see things, to remember things, to apply things, to connect things, and that no other will do as well. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if there was a question about like parallel structure right there. In fact, to make such a claim is to trivialize learning, to reduce it to a mechanical skill. Of course, there are many learnings that are little else but a mechanical skill, and in such cases, there may well be a best way. But to become a different person because of something you've learned, to appropriate an insight, a concept, a vision, so that your world is altered, that is a different matter. For that to happen, you need a reason. And this is the metaphysical problem I speak of. As a reason, as I use the word here, is different from a motivation. Within the context of schooling, motivation refers to a temporary psychic event in which curiosity is aroused and attention is focused. I do not mean to disparage it, but it must not be confused with a reason for being in a classroom, for listening to a teacher, for taking an examination, for doing homework, for putting up with school, even if you are not motivated. This kind of reason is somewhat abstract, not always present in one's consciousness, not at all easy to describe. And yet, for all that, without it, schooling does not work. For school to make sense, the young, their parents, and their teachers must have a God to serve, or even better, several gods. If they have none, school is pointless. Nietzsche's famous aphorism is relevant here. He who has a why to live can bear with almost any how. This applies as much to learning as to living. To put it simply, there's no surer way to bring an end to schooling than for it to have no end. There's some interesting ideas there. I'm not going to go through these questions individually with you, but I wanted to point out there are a couple of questions where the answers might be unfamiliar to you guys. Like, I'm not sure everybody knows what syllogistic reasoning is or ad hominem arguments. Obviously, you're not going to have access to a computer or a teacher or classmates when you're taking the AP exam, but for now, you do have those things. So if there is something that you don't understand, definitely feel like you can look that up for now. That's totally fine, and it'll probably help you. You might be able to like eliminate some answers, or you might know the answer right off the bat and not have to look stuff up. But by all means, you can definitely look stuff up for now in order to help you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my video off and mute myself, and you guys can be working on this. If you want to work independently and submit it, you can. But just make sure that you get that submitted. I'm not taking it as a grade. I just want to see how many you are getting right versus how many you're attempting. And next semester, I will definitely, or like when we return from Christmas, I will be taking some of these as grades. So we definitely need the practice.